So let's see how dividing polynomial works. First of all, we need to get familiar with the key terms what we're going to use. Dividend is the polynomial that I will divide. Divisor is the polynomial I divide by. The quotient is the polynomial that I get after the division, and the remainder is whatever remains. Also, the divisor will determine the excluded value. In this case, since my divisor is x plus 2, my excluded value will be -2. We have two methods for dividing polynomials. The first method is called long division. This is what we will do in this video. And the second method is synthetic division. Let's see long division. Why would I use it? When would I use it? Well, first of all, if I need to find the factors of polynomials, I will have to divide. But why would I use long division specifically? Well, long division has a great advantage. It works with all kinds of divisors. It means that it works with a simpler divisor like x minus c. And also it works with higher degree divisors such as quadratic trinomials. In the next few slides, I'm going to show you how division works and how can I use long division. Our first example is to factor a polynomial completely if I know that a particular binomial is a factor. Well, if I know that this binomial is a factor, then my only task is to divide this polynomial by this binomial. I'm going to use long division, so I will be able to show you step by step how long division works. First of all, I need to copy the dividend, which is in this case my polynomial. And make sure that wherever you write the polynomial, you will have enough space on the left-hand side and above the polynomial. Because I will need to draw a box around the dividend like this, and I will have to copy my divisor on the left-hand side. Each term of the quotient will come here to the top. First step is to divide the first term of my polynomial by the first term of my divisor. 6x cubed divided by x is 6x squared. I'm going to copy it to the top. Then my next step is to do multiplication, so I'm going to use this term of the quotient and multiply the whole divisor. If I multiply by x, then I will get 6x cubed. If I multiply by -3, then I will get -18x squared. My next step is to subtract these first two terms of the polynomial minus these two terms which were written with blue. So the first bit will be 0, but then -25x squared minus -18x will be -7x squared. Make sure that you have both negative signs, which will become a positive. So at the end, I will do -25x squared plus 18x squared. This is how I get -7x squared. The next step is to copy my next term here and then do the division with these two terms. So -7x squared divided by, and now I'm only looking at my variable, which is x, the highest degree term. So I will get -7x. Then as a next step again, I do the multiplication again. So now this time I do -7x times x, then -7x times -3. So first I get -7x squared, then +21x. Now I'm doing again a subtraction. So the x squares will cancel each other out. So as the next bit, plus 18x minus 21x, which will be negative 3x. Again, I will copy my next term here next to what I've got, which is plus 9. So as a next step, I will divide negative 3x with x again. Now again, only with x. I'm only focusing onto the x. So I get negative 3. Now I do the multiplication again. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is plus 9. I do the subtraction as a last step, and I will get 0. So this means that my quotient is 6x squared minus 7x minus 3. And my remainder is 0. Whatever number or polynomial I receive here after the last step is done, that is my remainder. Now let's check if we answered the question. Well, the task wasn't simply just divide, it was to factor completely. So I know that x minus 3 was a factor, my quotient is my other factor, so I can write up my polynomial in a factored form. But is it the fully factored version of the polynomial? Well, I can keep trying. I know good techniques for factoring quadratic trinomials. And if I use these techniques, I will find easily the finally fully factored form, x minus 3 times 2x minus 3 times 3x plus 1. Another question could be to find the zeros of the polynomial. Well, we already know techniques for this. Once we have the factored version, we need to make each factor to be equal 0 and then solve those equations one by one. So therefore my zeros will be 3, 3 over 2, and negative 1 over 3. In the second example, I'm going to show you how long division works if my divisor has higher degree than 1. So even if in this example I have a quadratic trinomial, I can use the exact same method as I used in the previous example. So let's see. First of all, I'm going to copy the dividend nearly into the center, so I will have enough space for my divisor on the left-hand side and for my quotient on the top of this. So let's put the box, let's copy the divisor, and let's start the division. So first step, I'm going to divide 2x to the power of 4 by the highest degree term of the divisor, which is x squared. As a solution, I get 2x squared and I put it on the top somewhere. Then I'm going to do the multiplication. I multiplied this term, what I've got as a quotient, by the whole divisor. So I will have 3 terms as a solution here. So 2x squared times x squared is 2x to the power of 4. 2x squared times negative 2x is negative 4x cubed. And then 2x squared times 7 is 14x squared. Now what was the next step? I hope you all remember. This is the division, the subtraction. So I'm going to underline and do the subtraction step by step. The first 2 terms will be zeros. Then the next 2 terms also 0. And then let's see the last one. This is more interesting. So 13x squared minus 14x squared, which is negative 1x squared. Now, since I'm dividing by a trinomial, I will have to copy both the remaining terms from the original, from the dividend. And let's see the division now. The highest degree term divided by the highest degree term here. So negative x squared divided by x squared equals negative 1. And then let's do the multiplying. Negative 1 times my divisor, it means that there are no more changes, only the signs. So all the signs will change. So this way I will get negative x squared plus 2x minus 7. Okay, and then underline again and subtract again. Again, the first two terms will cancel each other. The linear terms, if I subtract, I would get 3x minus 2x, which is 1x. And then if I subtract negative 11 minus negative 7 is negative 4. So what is this? I hope you all remember. This is the remainder, and this is the quotient. So it means that my quotient is 2x squared minus 1, and my remainder is a polynomial this time, x minus 4. Now let's see what is my final answer. If I want to write up this dividing operation as a fraction, I can do that, that's fine. Then this is equal to, here is my quotient, 2x squared minus 1, plus, here is my remainder, but then I have to keep repeating this division, so divided by my original divisor, x squared minus 2x plus 7. So this is a way I can write up my solution. Now have a look at these questions and try yourself how long division works. Okay, on the next slide I'm going to show you the solutions for all so you can check your work, but please spend 5 to 10 minutes to do these divisions, and the answers are shown in 5 seconds. And here are the answers one by one. Please double check all the steps. If you made any mistakes, I hope you will find what your mistake was. Double check the negative signs because they can be tricky. And also check if you did the right operation everywhere.